Alright, gotta keep this light, keep it fast, because Mr. Mark's got a wedding to get to. So,
Yes, sir.
that's right. Alrighty, we're just gonna dive right in. We'll hit the music, because we got a big guest coming, so let's go.
You're watching Diecast Breakdown with Chuck Ellis, David Johns, and Mark McHotwheel. So sit back, strap in, and hang on. The breakdown starts now.
All right. Hey there, folks. Chuck here, and we've got a very special episode today. We are joined by a gentleman we know as Yogi, you know as Jakarta Diecast Project, and his lovely wife, Vira. They are a huge part of diecast culture, the two of them doing this amazing channel. It is the largest diecast channel, bar none, period, on YouTube. And they have built it themselves out in Indonesia using just stuff that you have around the house. And we are going to get into that real soon. It is really inspiring and they are super cool people. So before we get into that, let's go around the room. I am Chuck. I have got my friend, Mr. David Johns, joining us today. And Mr. Mark McHotwheel. We're doing miming today for
double
this
salute.
audio format, which is fantastic. We're keeping the talking to a minimum because our friend Mark has had some adjustments done to his vocal area. And we're going to keep his jaw work to a minimum, which is sad because I know that's what brings all y'all to here tonight.
That's why you're here.
It's certainly not to hear me stumble over my own lines. But before we get into it, let's get into what's exciting you about the world of diecast today.
I found some really cool stuff on the internet this week, and I think our viewers and our listeners will like what's coming out. We've got a bunch of different brands putting out some cool stuff. I'm going to rip through it. You guys can pause if you want. Greenlight putting out another awesome series. They've got 6 pieces in a Starsky and Hutch set coming out, including a really cool old tow truck, as well as a big old cargo van. I know you guys love these old 70s and 80s vans. Tomica Premium being the mid-range of Tomica. Yeah, there's a van right there, Mark. Sure. Speaking of a large, cool vehicle, Tomica in their premium line has a Mitsubishi Pajero, and a lot of you JDM fans love that. It's kind of hard to find casting, but a super cool vehicle. Coincides maybe like with Hot Wheels putting out the Land Cruiser recently. Some of these older SUVs. Mini GT, one of the show's favorite brands, has an awesome Lancia Stratos coming out, a really famous rally car. These are going to be street versions like I like. They've got a red and a blue one. If you want more information on Mini GT while I'm thinking about it, Stinger Diecast just put out a video recently going over a ton of Mini GTs. If you don't know that brand, check them out. Yes, Hot Wheels has some cool stuff coming out. An off-road 67 Camaro. That's going to be your mail-in that I saw recently. It'll be a GameStop and a Family Dollar exclusive. Probably the kind where you send in 20 proofs of purchase and you get the mail in. And you can also go onto the Hot Wheels site, and hopefully we'll be able to link this in the description of the GameStop and Family Dollar exclusives that are going to be coming up in 2022. There's a black Supra, a teal Skyline. These are only going to be colors that are available at those stores. Last but not least, guys, Greenlight has a really cool lowrider set. I bet Chuck will like that. It's called California Lowriders, and there's going to be at least what I saw, 2 Impalas and a good old Chevy Caprice, a donk Chevy Caprice, if you will. And these are all things that are going to be coming out hopefully in the first half of 2022. So keep your eye out for those, guys.
One thing that I'm really excited about that's going to be, I think, Japanese only. It's the Japanese convention Datsun 510 that's coming out, and that thing's got we'll post another picture up because this isn't going to be very good, but
cool.
We've got the convention car that's coming out, I think, this year. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully I can get one without selling my arm and my leg. I still have yet to get the last year's one for the right and left one, but I do have customs from Hewitt's.
Yep.
And those are better. than the real thing, in my opinion. I just stumbled upon this today on the internet. It is, let me go back here. It's a Acme is the brand, 1972 Chevrolet Blazer K5.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And I don't know what scale this is right here. It's a bigger one. I was reading through here, but it's extremely detailed down to the engine bay and the spark plug wires. Under the car, it has the mufflers, the shifters. It's just something that screamed Chuck to me.
Mhm.
So
I do love
I
the big K5 Blazers.
I always encourage people to not necessarily go down a rabbit hole, but maybe to branch out if that's some car that they really like. Then, or if they've had it or their dad had it, it'd be a cool car to purchase and check out and see if you'd be willing to buy more. It's not cheap. So I think it's somewhere around 134 US and about 176 Canadian dollar.
Yeah, that's
So
probably
not a cheap car.
Did you see the RLC Golf 510? Were you aware, Mr. 510 fan?
Yes, of
That's
course.
got to be on your radar
I've seen
too.
that. It is. It's not. I'm hoping that their hood gap on that isn't as crazy as it is in the pictures. Hopefully they dial that in because it's got a really big hood gap on it. Now, we've all had opening hoods and doors and everything, but it's pretty big. So as long as that's not as large, I'll be a little bit happier. But definitely will purchase it. I'm going to have it. I'm pretty much going to get every 510 ever made for Hot Wheels.
The hood gap is in the news again. They re-released that M3, Chuck, the Hot Wheels RLC, and it has such a bad publicity with the way the hood sat on it. And sure enough, I think we might be looking at the same problem again. I hope you collectors that got them have news where you can update us if they fix that problem. But there are concerns about that again.
Yeah, it's a little concerning. It's not like you're paying huge dollars for it, but if you want the casting that's just really put together precisely and good, and it has some huge gaps on the doors or the hoods, it turns you off a little bit.
And it's not even that it's that expensive. It's the hype. It's the stress involved with getting a red line. If you could just like buying a mini GT or buying one of these nicer Schucos or whatever that have, arguably better quality even than an RLC without the hype attached. Like that's the thing. If it wasn't so stressful, it wouldn't be even that big of a deal, but because of that perceived stress involved, if I'm going to put myself through this, at least put some quality control in it. I don't know. It's a tough balancing act. I don't envy the accountants over at Hot Wheels who have basically made dollar cars work for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
It's like a stress test.
If you listeners ever are having just a really relaxed day, I would ask that you would try and get an RLC piece because you will never have more anxiety.
Don't do that
than a minute before that timer hits zero.
If the current apocalypse we're going through hasn't gotten you mad enough.
Try fighting bots.
Speaking of Hot Wheels, I've started seeing rumblings that they're coming back to the shelves. I had seen some posts in some stores that were saying expect diecasts to return late January, and as we're recording this, it is late January. So I popped in my local disappointments, as Derek would call it, and was once again disappointed. In fact, to the point that, and I wondered if this was going to happen, but one of our Walmarts has actually replaced the Hot Wheels pegs, I'm guessing temporarily, with Maestos, like the Maesto 5-packs. Yeah. And I actually picked up a few because we had talked about these recently because the new ones are out. And check out this E30 up here at the top. It's actually a pretty well proportioned casting. And so I was saving it because I wanted to crack it open here, get some diecast ASMR going. Everything else in the pack we've seen before, but this little E30 is not too shabby.
Not too bad. It needs new wheels on it.
It definitely needs wheels. Like, I'm not going to reserve judgment on the wheels, but as far as proportionality goes, because Maesto can be hit or miss with some of theirs, but this one it's quite nice. And I have whatever the equivalent of, as we used to say in church, a praise report is for diecasts. I had ordered from Diecast Direct recently. I had tried them out. They had a pretty decent clearance section or sales section, and purchased some stuff from them, and they had some stuff that I was looking for. And
testify.
I was so excited because they shipped via UPS to me, and their logistics were actually really nice. Like they had all the detailed, like, it's coming, here it is. It's in your neighborhood. You'll get it today. And I got the notification. And as soon as I got the notification, within 3 minutes of getting the notification, I was at the front door and it was not there. So I was like, they delivered to the wrong house. So filed my report, blah, blah, blah. Still haven't heard back from UPS. But fortunately, whoever it was delivered to, they finally got back from vacation. And after a week of me going, well, that was a lot of money thrown away, they dropped it off. So thank you to whoever it is that was at the actual place that it went to.
Thank you so much.
Old car news, real quick, I have recently been discovering road champs. I knew of them. There's several castings that I didn't know of, like this Buick. It's a little wonky, but it is a metal, and it does have opening doors. This would be a really good custom candidate. They have an interesting Buick Riviera. The Matchbox 83 Buick Riviera is way better. Roof is a little wonky proportionally, but
chunky,
they do
wonky.
have a Chrysler LeBaron that I'm keeping an eye out for. And I got this fun Model T as well that's got a little opening rollback seat on it. But the box arrived from Diecast Direct. I finally got the not technically Dukes of Hazzard Dixie Jeep from that set.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, speaking of green lights, to report that they have announced they are going to be doing Cooter's tow truck from the series. They had done one in the past that was exclusive to Cooter's place, which is, there are 2 locations up in the Smokies that are actually owned by Ben Jones, the guy who played Cooter. And now they are going to be available for mass sale, which I did add to my Christine collection. I got the partially restored Christine, which means all I have left to get is the burned out Christine. And I got, as I mentioned in a previous episode, the Black Ghost arrived, which I'm very excited about.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that is a beautiful,
that's sweet.
beautiful car.
You taking that one out?
I am going to take it out. My only gripe about it is that the casting has a vinyl top, but it does not have the gator print, which is annoying because the gator print is on the card, but they got his little Africa decal. They got the white stripe on the back. It's got his license plate, his Michigan license plate on the back. And finally, my weird find from Diecast Direct is this ridiculous box of locomotives that they had on clearance for $36.99 that are, to their description, approximately 1/64th scale. So I got 12 of these guys, and comparing them to like this Majorette ambulance here, which is another awesome find. And maybe. But I always say, it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So those are my reports for the week. I think what we're going to do here is we are going to throw to a break really quick, and we're just going to go straight to an extended interview with Yogi, because he is such an integral part of the Diecast community that we wanted to give him as much time as possible. I know a lot of you, like myself, had a lot of questions about this mysterious unspoken figure who makes all of these amazing functional opening, closing, running, jumping, anything that you thought was impossible to do at 1/64 scale, he has done so far. And we're going to talk about the one thing that he is hoping to one day accomplish that might be a little impossible right now. So when we come back, we're going to have Yogi and his wife Vira of Jakarta Diecast. What's doing so well?
You're doing so well.
Like that close.
that close. It was right there. We'll have Yogi and Vira of Jakarta Diecast Project. Stick around.
We'll be back with more Diecast Breakdown after this word from our sponsors. Here's this week's small channel shout-out.
Kudas Diecast Customs.
If you have a favorite Diecast channel with less than 700 subscribers and you'd like to see them highlighted on a future episode, email us at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com. Hey kids, want to own one of Fireball Tim's coloring books? How about your very own copy of his original Batmobile design, autographed by Fireball himself? Leave a comment using the word autograph on the YouTube version of this episode. You could win one of these 2 amazing prizes. 2 winners will be announced on the episode of this show airing February 27, 2022. Here's today's Diecast Breakdown question. If you could ask Hot Wheels designer Brendan Batuski one question, what would it be? Send it to diecastbreakdown@gmail.com or tell us in the comments below. You could be featured on a future episode of Diecast Breakdown. We'd like to take a moment to thank our executive producer level patrons, First and 64th Customs, Video Geek Productions, Matchbox Mark, Jonathan Von Nesh, and Donald Rashik. Please stick around till the end of the episode for our full list of partners and learn how you can support this project at diecastmedianetwork.com. And now back to Diecast Breakdown.
I am super excited because we are sitting down with one of my favorite builders, and I'm sure yours too, Mr. Jakarta Diecast Project, also known as Yogi, and his wife Vira is joining us today. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate having you on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I'm going to let Mark talk a little bit about how you got on the show, because Mark helped facilitate this.
I've been a fan of Yogi's for a long time, and of course I support him on his Patreon and his membership because man, you got to support Yogi. His work is amazing. I need to recruit more people. No problem. And so yeah, I just messaged him on Instagram and said, "Hey man, how you doing? Do you want to come on our podcast sometime?" And he was like, "Yeah, I could do that." Since I've been following him, and I do notice that Yogi responds to a lot of comments, and that must be rough, man, because you got a lot of subscribers and a lot of people messaging. So I notice whenever I engage or I say, "Hey, cool," he always likes and writes something back. So to me, that's really awesome, and it's important to me and my channel to touch everybody and make sure everybody gets a response and that I appreciate them.
Thank you for being my
Supporter.
supporter. So
We really thank you for your support, Mark. So, because Patreon in Indonesia, especially in Asia, is not really familiar.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we know that in US, in other country, is quite popular because in Indonesia and Asia, YouTube is the only platform that people knows. And then we are trying our Patreon, but it's very less people to support. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not stopping us to upload videos over there. But it's just we were surprised. Mark was the first guy to support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were like, he was very happy. He was very happy that time that wow, finally
That's
someone
awesome.
support me. And then
It
Mark
blew my mind. It blew my mind. It blew my mind.
when first time Mark chat Instagram, right? You chat Yogi through Instagram. Well, frankly speaking, sometimes he cannot focus on social media.
yeah, because
Yeah.
my social media is he's
I'm the one that answering all the DMs, all the stories, and then to help other enthusiasts, especially in Diecast, to repost or to boost their followers and everything. It come up to our attention when, especially Mark is already got our attention. First, because you are our first, of course, you got special space in Jakarta Diecast project. We were very happy and we are very honored to get to be in this podcast. We thought it's only Mark, but you are team. So
Yes.
it's great to see you guys.
We're just riding Mark to fame and fortune here. That's weird.
That's right.
I didn't even know you had a Patreon until Mark mentioned it. So I'm going to be remedying that after this episode. But I think it's important to support other builders, even if it's just a few dollars. I got to know a little bit about you because generally speaking, you've done a few videos with yourself in them, but most of the time it's just the build. Like everybody who watches these videos, and congratulations again on hitting 1 million subscribers. You are, as far as I know, the only Diecast guy to hit 1 million subscribers. This is huge. And I see the play button behind you. That is amazing. But I saw your article in Diecast Heroes, the magazine, and I was really intrigued because there it is. That's the issue. You were originally in finance.
Yes.
So did you do any crafting or customizing before that? Or was this just something that you did only with the small cars?
maybe can I speak mix between Indonesian and English?
Of course.
So then,
Yeah,
if you-
absolutely.
Then I will do the
Of course.
translations.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, for the diecast custom itu gitu. Jadi I did it a long time ago when I was 10. So yeah, but then aku tuh harus kerja. Tapi ya akhirnya kita baru melakukan lagi serius itu 3 tahun belakangan ini.
So basically, his hobby is automobile. Back and he started to custom his first diecasts when he was 10 years old, when he was 5th grader. But life goes on, so he has to work when he becoming adult. guy. Then he have to work. Then he was working in the finance department.
Yeah.
Then those kind of hobbies, it's gone. It's just like forgotten. Then lately, for the past 4 years now, because it's now it's 2022. For the past, then he started back again, and then without having intention to make it focus on diecast custom, he just starting his hobby, his long time hobby. Then it becoming something. It's becoming bigger than where he decided, okay, let's just focus on diecast custom. So that's the story.
Great story.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's awesome.
So basically, his hobby is always automobile, regardless. It's a 4 wheels,
Yeah, I
regardless
love
if
cars.
motorcycle. He loved everything about automotive.
Yogi,
But
I was going to ask.
unfortunately, in Indonesia, the cars or motorcycle are very expensive. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch it on the diecast.
Diecast, yes, because he cannot afford the real car one by one. So
We'll get you a Skyline or
to
something,
diecast.
Yogi.
Yes.
Do you remember what brands, when you were a fifth grader, when you were 10 years old, what brands you used to play with?
I don't, maybe Majorette or
Can I remember?
I can remember
Yeah.
between
Ming,
the-
Majorette. Yeah, those are some popular
Yes.
ones back then.
But I think the first car is a sedan. It's the BMW. I don't know the series because at that age, I don't know what brand.
Right.
I don't understand anything.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
I get
just,
that.
I just custom it.
Just customize it, make it what you want it to
I'm
be.
just customize. I'm just following the hype. That's
Yeah.
all.
Slam it.
You got to start
Slam it.
somewhere. Like yeah. My,
Put it
my
on the
first,
ground.
My first custom I painted with a paintbrush. It did not go well, but I was, I think, 8 years old. You started in the fifth grade. That was where you started with the majorettes and the yachtmings. When did you decide to start making videos of your customs?
Okay, I decided on start upload video is on 2008. 2008 because sorry.
Basically, his first upload is 2018. Is
Tujuan utama aku.
after he come back from his old hobbies in 2018, then he's decided to make a YouTube. So the first goal to custom is YouTube. It's not custom then selling.
Yeah.
So his main goal, he's aiming to be a content creator. What is the content? That is diecast. Because he was triggered by watching YouTube to see custom diecast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was influenced by one of the customizer in YouTube. So he remembered that, oh, I love to customize. So let me try again. So that's why he's starting to take our son's Hot Wheels collection,
Yeah. Abandoned.
abandoned one.
Abandoned.
Then he tried to slam it, and then he tried to paint it, repaint it. Then it's becoming an idea for him. Okay, why don't I use this custom to make something? It looks like YouTube becoming a content creator is very attractive because you can earn money from that. So that's why he's starting to make a content. So that's why the main reason why he's not selling his custom diecast is because that's not the goal. The goal is to be a content creator,
Yeah.
but the content is diecast custom.
Yep.
And your videos are beautiful. I went to school to do video production, and I'm very impressed with the quality of your videos. How did you develop that?
Oke, I think ya videografi atau fotografi atau apapun
Semua tentang
atau
videografi,
bahkan fotografi dan editing. Jadi
So he doesn't have any background photography, cinematography, or editing because he's eager to be a content creator. He learned so hard how to edit, how to shoot with whatever he has. At that time, I remember he's using only handphone, right? It's an Android handphone. Old Android handphone with its only KineMaster apps to edit and then to shoot, and then he learned everything. He used that phone until few months until we can afford to buy an iPhone. Then we use iPhone, right? Still, we use iPhone.
Still.
Until now, we use iPhone to shoot. And then because everything for the past 3 years, he do everything by himself, shooting, editing, and then tweaking, input the music, and then to mix the to match between the pictures, the videos, and the music. He do everything by himself, and then he learned by doing. Why he learned by doing? Because he want to do something that he's feels this is belongs to me, and this is how I want to see the diecast video. So he put himself as viewers,
Yeah. As an audience.
as an audience. So what do you want to see if you are an audience from a diecast channel? So this is what I want to see. So that's why he make the video based on whatever he wants to see. So he do everything by himself until last year. Finally, everything is his hands off because he's quite full with the concept of the diecast custom. So then we have our own editor.
I
That's
love the
amazing.
idea, guys, of staying in your lane, doing what you like, and making it in the way that you like it, and just trusting that others will receive it and enjoy it. And don't try and be someone that you're not. Just do it the way you do it and let others enjoy it.
exactly.
So that, well done.
Exactly.
Exactly. Consistency is very important.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things for YouTube is just being consistent, whether it be posting once
And
a
never,
week.
never stop to learn
Never stop learning.
Yeah.
everything.
You just keep on uploading whether there's someone watching or not watching.
Yeah.
You just upload it.
Yeah. Just upload it.
Just creating something.
Yeah.
I think that's a great message for people that are hesitant about being a content creator, is that they're not good enough or they don't know how to edit. There's a million videos on YouTube on how to do stuff, and people like myself, I try to help people figure out how to do things. And I'm planning on making a video in the next couple weeks on the basics on how to make a video, just to upload something. So Yogi, that's amazing that you were able to do that all on your own and just put yourself as the audience and just say, hey, what would I like to see if I was watching diecast videos? And you nailed it.
Thank you, Mark.
I see comments in your videos where people say, do you do other scale diecast? And if not, why do you stay with 164 scale? And I'm wondering, is that because of the challenge with the size?
Aku mau apa ya? Lupa.
Because it's very difficult, right?
Yeah, I think that the 64 scale is
It's most difficult.
Small size, but
Cheap.
yes, the first thing is very cheap. The first thing is very cheap, so everyone can afford it, right? Yes, everyone can afford it. So I think 164 scale you can get everywhere. Yes, it is, but
Big effort.
big effort
Understood. Okay.
Besides, he hasn't tried the other scale.
because
There's a limitation also. There's a boundaries for the spare part for other scale.
Yeah.
In Jakarta, the 164 spare part is quite easy to get, right?
yeah,
It's quite easy to get. There's a lot of seller for the wheels, for other parts, and it can easily to get it,
especially wheels.
especially wheels.
Is there something that you were really wanting to do on a custom that the technology just isn't quite there yet?
I don't know. Kayaknya sih ini ya, apa namanya yang
Betsin.
ya jadi I think yang nggak mungkin dilakukan.
So
ya,
he was saying that perhaps the 164 scale to be put the real engine.
Yeah,
That would be-
2JZ
that would be
I
amazing.
or
think it is impossible because
2JC.
yeah. the real engine, the real life engine, like petrol engine, I think I can afford it.
So that's what he in his imagination he can do that one, but he hasn't get to that ideas yet.
Well, it is impossible.
If anybody can do it, you can do it.
If it does happen, we'll learn about it because we see you do it. So keep an eye out for that. Now,
Nothing is possible, right?
Exactly. Nothing is impossible. You mentioned that you get your cars a lot from your son. Does your son ever help you on projects? Is he interested in that at all? Or does anyone else in your family share interest in customizing diecast?
My son is never. He don't like the diecast custom because in real life he's just like motorcycle.
That's okay.
And then I start is the first diecast custom is not his collection. It's just you can explain it maybe.
Yes, our son now is 14 years old. When he was about 6 or 5 years old, all the kids buying Hot Wheels, but he just buy without playing with it. So we have a box of his old Hot Wheels, but nowadays he's not interested into diecast. He's not really interested into diecast. He's not even wants to try custom diecast like his father, but he's still related to what Yogi's hobbies is motorcycle. So he's into more motorcycle instead of cars. He even doesn't want to learn how to drive.
Yeah.
So he just, I don't care.
He just
about
wants a
driving
motorcycle,
car.
though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He just wants to do
Yeah.
wheelies. That's understandable. That's all I want to do in life is wheelies.
If you ask, is there any in the family that have the same passion and hobbies like Yogi? I may say not really, but same hobbies as automotive is because our son love motorcycle.
I was curious because I was talking with, I can't remember which customizer it was. There was another customizer and he claimed, oh yeah, Jakarta is my cousin. Is it Toli or Puri that you did
Puri Garage.
Puri,
Puri
yeah.
Garage is his cousins.
That is his cousin.
my cousin.
Okay, yes. I think that's who I was talking to. He does the spot welding on his, right? Yeah, that's really cool. I actually, I was looking into that and I was like, no, stop. One step at a time. You're not there yet. But that's very cool. I'm still trying to figure out 3D printing, and that's been something that's been really interesting to me. But you make all your stuff from scratch and from things that you find, bits and pieces of electrical connectors. And I love that your stuff feels very grounded in reality. Like it's made from taking shapes and making the thing rather than just putting it in a computer and having a machine print it, which that's an art in and of itself. That's its own skill to master. But I have a lot of respect for your builds because you use real wire and real connectors and bits of plastic and wood and cut it all together. And I think that's very cool. So what is the most interesting piece of regular stuff around the house that you've found to use in a custom?
Oh yeah.
He's using DIY for the aluminium
Front fender motorcycle.
Yeah, the syrup cap for the motorcycle fenders.
That's very clever.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he took my syrup cap bottle and
Yogi,
turned into
come on. What are you doing,
so
man?
he turned into the fender of the Harley Davidson, right?
Yes.
Which motorcycle? Yeah.
I'm sure that you're always finding things missing, like caps and the
Oh,
rods and
yeah.
ends.
Oh, yeah.
Go to him
Sometimes he
first.
comes to my kitchen. Yeah, sometimes he comes to my kitchen and then he used my food cover lid, then he cut.
He just cuts little snips out of it.
Yeah.
Gosh,
That's fantastic.
that's awesome.
Because
Bet
he
he gets in
couldn't
trouble
find
all the time.
the right material in the market, right? So he has to DIY, finding the
improvise.
ideas, right? So then how to fit, is it the right size? Whether it is scale, it's perfect or not. And it's really difficult to source the keyword into the marketplace. So he's just lingering around the house, and especially my kitchen. He see everything that he can customize.
And today I learned that a straight pin can make the side view mirror
Oh,
Civic.
yeah. Yogi is patient with just normal things as he is with sitting down and modifying a car? Is he a patient person in real life, just like on a daily basis? Because watching his videos, I could do that because he just sits there and he patiently puts everything together.
Oh yeah,
I'm just curious if he's just very
he is a person that cannot stop thinking, and then
always thinking.
his curiosity is very high. For example, if he wants to do something, then he is in the midst of research and then development something, he can sit in the office for hours. And then,
Yeah, and just
even though he's
brainstorm.
off from the office, he's still thinking about it. He's still
Maybe not.
find.
It's a workshop.
Yeah, it's a workshop in his workshop. He's a person that very passionate in what he's doing now until he can get what he wants. So that's why he just really 100,000% into the diecast.
Yeah,
If
you
I may
see that.
say. Whether it's finding the information through internet, whether he's watching someone's video, whether he finding someone literature, he will find a way how to get those kind of information. Then he will mix it, and then he will trial and error is something, but he will never stop until he get what he wants.
That's the way to succeed, is keep trying and messing up and trying again. Yogi, when you put together a plan, let's say, first off, sometimes like when I see you do Honda Civic, or one of my favorite ones, of course, is the Datsun 510. What's your game plan usually? Do you sit down and draw it out first? What strikes your idea for the car?
Ya banyak ide itu masuk nggak?
The idea comes normally on Sunday evening. Because his production starting from Monday morning. So he got an idea from everywhere, sometimes from image that he see from internet. And then sometimes whenever, when he meet his friend, then he have an ideas. Or from someone tell him, hey, can you make this? And then whether he likes it or not, then he will keep it, the ideas, the advice. And then sometimes whenever he do the daily activities, he watching movies, then he will see something that is becoming an idea and concept. And then regarding the concept, he's not sketching, right?
Yeah,
You do
sometimes,
sketching. Okay.
sometimes.
He do
Sometimes,
sketching,
okay.
but sometimes it's not really like sketch in the paper. No, it's not like that. But he just like concepting in his mind, then he will translate into something, directly into the diecast. The ideas can come from everywhere. Sometimes comes from his imagination.
Yeah.
And sometimes come from my wife.
Sometimes come from me.
Probably the
The
best
next
ones,
video
right?
comes from you. The next video comes, the ideas for the
No,
next video
not the next.
next week.
Maybe this. And
Sometimes comes from me because I help him to read the comments.
yes, because he's the
Because he is not replying the comments on YouTube, on Instagram, each one-on-one.
It's tough.
But sometimes because it's a lot, it's very time consuming. So I just sometimes random read the comments, and then what is the most request cars to be custom from the audience and the viewers. So I will tell him.
Yeah.
So I read for him. I do the reading for him. If there's any negative feedback or good feedback, also I will tell him. But sometimes negative feedback, it can be two ways to translate. One is to empower you to becoming better. And then the other one is becoming not focused because they don't know how we do it at our back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes the bad comment, we're not really focused on it, but we just focus on the advice from them.
Sure.
Sometimes it's very good advice because his viewers is coming all over the world. It's not only Indonesia. Sometimes that's something that out of the box that we have blind spot. He has also blind spot that he don't see, but the other viewers can see. So those kind is really appreciated. We, as a gesture to appreciation to the viewers, sometimes we make it. And also sometimes we're having difficulties, the casting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the casting itself in Indonesia is very difficult to get. Yeah, so it's also one of the challenging. So If we have the stock of the casting, of course we will do it. But if not, then sorry, we have to source it first, then we can customize it.
If you guys ever need something from us, we'll do,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it takes to
Thank
get
you.
it for you.
Yeah.
Thank
No
you.
problem. Like, I'm serious. Yeah. We'll
Care
help you
package
out.
for you.
Yeah. We'll get it out. We'll
I don't
ship
know
it
how
out
expensive
tomorrow.
it is to ship to Indonesia, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, guys.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we want to see you keep building more. Because for me, you were the builder that inspired me to try jeweler saw to cut panels open. And I've done a few now where I've cut hoods. And I just did one with a DeLorean with the door open. But I don't have them so they open and close yet. I just have it so it's open. I'm working my way there. How did you learn that? That is such an intricate skill. Because we see the beautiful final product, but I'm sure that there were some steps along the way to get there.
Oke, di Indonesia itu sulit untuk mendapatkan alat yang tepat. Jadi
So in Indonesia, we have difficulties to find the right tools because it very expensive. If we found it, then it will be cost us a lot for the shipment, and it's because it's overseas. And then it took him a few months to get the jewelry saw. It took him for about a year, perhaps almost a year, to get
fine.
finally the right tools to cut. It's using the jewelry saw. And then it took him to waste it 2 to 3 cars because it's the wrong cut before finally he can get the feeling how to cut using the jewelry saw. So it's not easy. So it takes a few steps to get it very well.
Yeah, practice
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing is I do a lot of weathering, like making my cars look rusty and old and stuff. And people, they act like, oh, I just got up one day and decided to do this. And I'm like, no, I've been building rusty car builds since I was 14 years old. And then I only stopped building those because I was building a real car. And then when I was done, I went back to building rusty builds. So it's so what you're seeing, my channel isn't that old, but what you're seeing is all the trials and errors that got there. And so it's inspiring to hear you're working with, like, people say, oh, I don't have the skill, or I don't have. Somebody just the other day on our podcast was like, I'd love to do that, but I'm not good enough. And we're like, well, just do it.
Just do it.
Just set aside 5 cars and build 5 cars, and then you build 5 more cars. And you can post them, you cannot post them. And you don't have to wait until you have a fancy mirrorless camera or whatever. I shoot all my videos. I shoot all my videos on webcams and an old Android phone. And we're working our way up as just from starting this project, we're gradually getting better gear and stuff, and we're learning as we go. And that's the thing, is that you're not good at it because you're not doing it. It costs you almost nothing to try and then to try again. And honestly, the worst that can happen is silence. People will just keep doing their thing. And one of the things that I love about Diecast is people are very supportive and they do care. And there are a few, I'm sure when you get really popular, you get a lot more negative comments, but at the same time, by and large, if I go through your comments, like, they look so different than the comments that I would see on a regular car channel where people are making fun of the car, or they're making fun of the presenter, or they've got something negative to say about all sorts of stuff. But with Diecast, it's almost always, great job, this is really cool, I want to try this. So that's the thing that I love about the hobby.
Yeah. Because, I mean, what people see from Yogi, it's not happening in one night. It takes a lot of years and years effort to be in this current position. Because the first time he wants to build a channel, because he's talking to me. And I was like, really? You want to be a YouTuber? Okay, if you want to be a YouTuber, you don't see those subscribers, 5 million, 3 million. You don't dream that one. You just do upload without expecting people to see your channel. You just do. Because I believe it's only consistency that make you succeed.
Agreed.
Right.
Very well.
You cannot force people to watch your channel, frankly speaking.
Right.
Because Diecast is very segmented.
Mhm.
It's very segmented. It's not other. It's not like food or travel. In Indonesia, especially, like there's a daily life of a very famous artist. Is very booming. They have 25 million subscribers with a million of views within a day. In Jakarta, for Jakarta Diecast project, it's not like that. It's very segmented. Only those people who love diecast, who love automobile, they will subscribe. But for those that like it, for sure they will skip it.
I love what you just said there, Vera. But I am curious, and I know a lot of the fans would be curious. Yogi, what is the toughest one that you've done? What is the toughest car that you've done that really tested your ability and your patience? And
The nerve.
yeah,
Okay, I think I bring the car is this is make me so
Frustrating.
frustrating. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a CFD panel, and this is an RCL rider RC, I think.
Yep.
And I have to make steering link the link for rear suspension, and I'm so frustrated to build this. So
For this car, he spent 3 servos because the car need 3 servos. So he wasted 3 servos and burned out.
it went.
Because whenever it's burned out during the testing.
And I need this car is need 3 servos. So for try and error, I broke 3 servos again. Then I broke to the receiver. This is the second receiver, or maybe third. I forgot because I don't
So
know.
tiny.
Maybe I don't know anything about RC. So it happened. That's it.
That is just so cool though that you were able to do that. And I think there's only a few builders out there that have tried that. It's one thing to take a car that was never supposed to be customized and customize it, or a toy that was never supposed to be customized and customize it, but then to make it functional, to make it actually drive and turn and reverse and under its own power, that is just so cool. But that kind of feeds to my question, which was, you said you get the idea on Sunday and you start production on Monday. How long on average does it take to build a car and then make the video?
I built 4 to 5 day per project. So until from the custom, from shooting, editing, and 5 day should be finished. 4 to 5 day, one project.
It's nice that you have an editor now to help you because for me, I find it takes almost as long to make the video as it does to do the actual car.
You're a car guy through and through. Do you like the Fast and the Furious movies?
Yeah, I like it, especially the Fast and Furious 2. Oh yeah, first and second Fast
First
and
and
Furious.
second ones. Okay.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite person in, let's say, the first Fast and Furious? Who's your favorite person and what's your favorite car from that movie? Curious.
Walker? Paul Walker and Dominic. Yeah, I love the American muscle car. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like the Toretto cars. I like it, and the Skyline are 34. I like it.
Those are
Yeah,
good
that's a
answers.
car.
You pass.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Mark
those
was
are
going to
great
have words
answers.
with you if you said, no, I don't like those movies.
Those movies are dumb.
The goal is to be a content creator. So do you have an end goal in mind for your channel? Did you ever imagine it getting to 1 million subscribers? Like, where do you see things going from here?
Ya lebih menarik lagi gitu. Jadi ya nggak pernah.
He's still doing the diecast. He still wish to spread out the diecast virus
Fight.
vibe, not virus, all over the world. And then until don't know when, until he feels that he's no longer able to handle it, to do the custom. And then the more people, because content creator is his influencer, so it's good to hear that what he's doing is influence people to do something good. From you cannot custom becoming a customizer. If you are customizer already, then you're becoming better customizer. So he's very happy to hear someone is success by watching his video.
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
great. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think the Jakarta Diecast brand is going to be bigger than custom 1/64 scale cars in the future. Yogi, what is your vision for how much more you can offer to collectors and automobile fans around the world? I think it's bigger than customizing cars. What do you think?
Apa ya baiknya? Jauh maksudnya
Apa?
the real cars.
So he will still doing the custom diecast, literally because that's his passion. And then hopefully it can influence the owner of one-on-one car to translate what he's doing into the real car.
Itu memungkinkan
Yeah.
Because it's possible.
apa yang aku
Yeah.
lakukan.
Because what he's doing is possible. Possible to be translated to be built in a real car.
Yeah.
If it's happening, it will be fantastic. It will be
So
crazy.
we would have like Yogi body kits for your vehicle. That's fantastic. You have to think
Yeah.
big.
Yeah,
Six weeks.
yeah.
That's what Chuck always says on the podcast. Yeah, we have to, if we think about who we invite on the podcast, and he says, think big.
Because
you know,
sky is the
people-
limit, right? Because
That's right.
sky is the limit. You should not feel satisfied with what you have currently, because you just keep on moving and moving, never stop. Because life is not stopped by 1 million subscribers,
Yeah.
No,
and then it's
no.
just keep on moving. For example, like his 6-wheeler. Mana bawa kan mobilnya?
Enggak.
Bawa itu.
Oh enggak,
Ini?
bukan kan ini emang ada.
And 6-wheeler.
Enggak, aku
Don't
nggak
drop
bawa.
it.
Enggak ada. Don't drop it. Enggak ada sih, ya.
His 6-wheeler was
Jimny.
the Jimny 6-wheeler was not exist in the real car,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
make it. And then you saw someone
No.
make it. Have you seen someone make it?
Mungkin maybe mirip sama punya si
Yeah.
aja gitu.
Yeah, it's possible to build like what he did. He swapped the engine from front engine into the back engine.
Itu
So it's possible in a real car.
I'm sure that Suzuki, their designers, are watching this, and they'll be in contact very soon.
Yeah. Yogi, what's your best advice to someone that's just starting out? We've covered this a little bit already, but what's your best advice to somebody that just started, that doesn't think they're good enough to succeed in modifying cars? What's your best advice for them, just to encourage them? Because there's going to be a lot of people watching this, and I think a lot of people, we know a lot of people look up to you and what you've done. What's your best straightforward advice for people that are starting out in customizing Hot Wheels or any diecast?
Seperti passion. Kita benar-benar
So what he was saying, first to encourage people, those who like custom, especially diecast, is first you have passion into the diecast or into the automotive. That is the most important thing. And then the second thing is never stop learning. Because frankly speaking, until now, even though Yogi is 1 mil, it's like Chuck said, he's the highest subscriber channel
on diecast.
on diecast. He's still learning. He's still digging information, how to make things, how to do this, how to do that. It's not stopping. It's not stopping him from learning and research and development for certain things. And then if you want to custom diecast, if you fail, then you fail. But never stop. Once you fail, don't stop. Keep on moving. No matter how many cars is wasted, right?
Yeah.
No matter how many cars is wasted, you still have to doing it.
Ya, diecast tuh.
Because there is no right or
great.
wrong, but there's custom.
Yeah.
You can do whatever. You have
yourself.
wild imagination on your diecast. How do you want to make your custom diecast?
Absolutely. That's great advice.
So nothing is impossible.
No, nothing's.
The engine is impossible. The real car is impossible, but on diecast there is nothing is impossible, right? That's what you say. Yeah.
Vira, have you tried to do one of your own? Have you tried a custom
No.
for you? Okay.
Oh, come on. Come on, Vera. We want to see one. We want to see you at least do a wheel swap. I
Maybe-
just got
maybe
my
one day.
fiance to do it. We're gonna have a challenge.
Have a spouse challenge.
Yeah,
where
spouse
our
challenge.
wives
Oh,
can-
that will be
Yeah.
great. Soft challenge.
Yep.
Let's
That's
see
right.
what sauce though I'm going to put in the diecast.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah, see what
Maybe
you
want
can.
to cook my Hot Wheels.
Yeah, maybe the Hot Wheel I will boil it or deep fry it.
Yeah. Just go into his room and cut some things out of his materials so he stops doing it to
Yeah,
yours.
there you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Just snip on his stuff.
My wife would actually probably do really well at that. She's a better hand painter than I am. She is very good with brushwork.
Oh.
She paints murals. She's been hired to paint murals for schools. She would probably do really well at that. But again, it would be her first build though. You got to start somewhere. I think, no matter what your skill level, like you said, like that's the thing, like you had never done videos before, like video production, you had done customizing, but like doing customs and doing video is a completely different thing. And there's so many great Instagram builders that will never do a video because they don't think they have the skill set, or they don't have the time, or they don't try it. And that's the thing, is you got better just by doing. Yeah. And that's been my encouragement to people, is try to make a video and then make the next video 1% better, and then another percent better. And just look for 1%. Change one thing each video, and you'll be amazed how quickly the videos improve. A lot of the content creators that we admire, that when they got their start, their videos may not have looked nearly as good as they do now, because you're again seeing them make hundreds of videos. Like, you've been doing this for 3 years now, so or 4 years almost.
I have one suggestion for Yogi here. So I think you should customize one of these guys right here. See if you can put an engine in it. Maybe you can make a remote control car.
Oh,
Yogi, they're the size of my fingernail. They're very small.
What would you guess, Chuck? 1/44 scale? Just
they're
crazy.
They're like 1/200th scale.
Yeah.
They're tiny.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this like next to each other so you can kind of see.
Because those things are
I don't know. Where did you get it, Clark?
We get we have these, and we'll send you one.
Yeah,
We'll
Yogi.
send you one.
We're going to put
crazy.
together a package for you, and we're going to make sure you have some world's smallest Hot Wheels in there.
Yeah. Clear out a closet.
We get some weird stuff over here. Yogi, Vira, I can't thank you enough for being on the show today. We really have been so excited about meeting you and talking with you, and we are so excited to share your story with our listeners, because cars are cool and tiny cars are cool, but it's the story about the cars that is almost as cool. And what I love about your videos is they are universal, that it doesn't matter what language you speak, you can enjoy a Jakarta Diecast video. And our videos are unfortunately fairly language limited right now, but we want to show people that you don't have to speak the best English or have the best whatever. Like we all speak the same language of loving these cars, and we will find a way to connect and talk to each other. And I think that's what we want out of this project. And we really appreciate you helping us make that happen today.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We are so honored to meet three of you guys. It's been very wonderful time to have.
This is our first time.
Yes, because frankly speaking, this is our first time podcast,
Yeah.
and it's
wow.
we never had a podcast before, but we had several interviews, but it's not a podcast. But so it's really quite stressful at the beginning for us, but we were so flattered that we were invited to this podcast.
Of course, we'll have to have you back on again sometime, and we'll check back in, because you're always doing new and exciting stuff, and we would love to talk more about it with you and explore more of the technical side of what you do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Just let us know.
And- yeah.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much, Yogi. Thank you, Vira. We are again
Thank you so
delighted.
much.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
And, we will talk to you.
Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
Thank you, David. Terima kasih. Terima
David,
kasih,
flexing
Mark.
on us.
Yeah, look
problem.
at that.
Don't touch that dial. Diecast Breakdown will be right back after these messages.
This episode of Diecast Breakdown is brought to you by you. That's right. We are 100% viewer and listener supported, and we are so grateful for those of you who have already supported the podcast and the shows we're planning to add to the Diecast Media Network family. You can find out more about how to support this project by visiting diecastmedianetwork.com. or email us about sponsoring an episode at diecastbreakdown@gmail.com. The best way you can support what we're doing right now, though, is to subscribe and share these episodes with your family, friends, and Facebook groups. Anyone you think would enjoy what we're doing. Any extra attention we can get early on will go a huge way in helping this project grow. Thank you so much for sharing this journey with us.
Diecast Breakdown would like to thank Diecast Heroes Magazine for supporting this program. Diecast Heroes Magazine is the premier digital and print resource just for diecast customizers. Visit diecastheroes.com and see what the best customizers in the world are up to. And now, the thrilling conclusion of this week's episode of Diecast Breakdown.
Well, I think you can tell by the excitement in all our voices during that we were super over the moon to talk to Yogi and Vira, and they were so kind and so gracious, and we were blessed by the tech gods. There was a little weirdness you saw with my feed, but we were able to correct that. But I am so grateful to Yogi and his wife. And again, please check out his Patreon. It's amazing that he has as many followers as he does, and has only, I think I'm his 4th supporter on Patreon, and Mark was his first. So if that tells you anything, I think he's got memberships on YouTube as well. So check those out. But guys, any
Support
closing
Yogi.
thoughts that you have for us on Yogi?
I just was really honored to have Yogi and his wife, Vira, on there. And they're just a kind, humble people. That's who we like to have on the show. And have achieved so much from starting out with just a camera phone. That's how we started it. So for anybody out there that thinks that they can't do this or they're not good enough, it's just how much effort you want to put into it. If you want to become something huge, and he doesn't have a big head about it. He's a great guy, and Veer's right there by his side, helping him with everything. And amazing couple, great, amazing people. So I was really honored and blessed to have them on the show.
And it's so refreshing, guys, when you know that he's being 100% real with everybody when he says, I didn't set out to be a channel with 10,000 subs, 100,000, or 1 million. He just does what he does, and the results speak for themselves. And as any type of creator, that's all you got to do. Have passion with what you do, and the results will follow. And it's just another wonderful testimony to that truth. And that's what the three of us are doing on this show. And I'm enjoying every second of it. And I hope you guys hang around for future episodes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, but that's exactly right. And I agree. The big thing, I think, and everybody misses it, but Yogi kept hammering it time and time again. It's not even about being the best or about being perfect. It's about consistency. Creativity as a broadcaster, as a social sharer, takes consistency. You have to keep posting. You have to not burn out. You have to figure out ways to pace yourself so you don't burn out. But at the same time, find ways to post something every week. If you can post several times a week, to establish that rhythm and work it into a habit. And that's part of where this show came out, because I was realizing I couldn't build customs consistently. And I was like, what could I do consistently? And fortunately, I had a little mark appear on my shoulder and was like, do a podcast. Just like that. Then he disappeared.
I'm in your face.
Yes, he got in my face. He was like, do a podcast. I'm in your face. And then disappeared in a puff of Nismo smoke. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here today. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, like, share, listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. And if you really enjoy what we're doing, check out our Patreon over at diecastmedianetwork.com. And again, wherever you are, thank you so much for listening, giving us this bit of your time. We are thrilled that you joined us, and we can't wait to have you along for the ride next time. So thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you again real soon.
Stay juking.
Juking.
No! No!
What's happening?
Is that
David,
stay juking
no.
or keep juking?
I think it's keep juking.
Oh,
juking.
okay.
Okay.
juke.
Thanks,
I
Mark.
it's
We'll
bad.
make it keep juking.
All right.
Yeah. Why are we picking on the infirmed, David?
I think he's faking. Just if you want my honest opinion,
He
I
just
think
wants us to go easy on him. He was like, maybe if I fake that I can hardly talk, they will get rid of the juking jokes. I wish.